I feel that if I would have not come out of that zone, then I would still be a graphic designer. To be very honest, I want to go to the product firm now. Like in service industry, projects and research is like just the iceberg of it.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Design Hack podcast, and we have a very special guest today with us. But before that, I just really want to thank every one of you who have been watching the podcast and supporting and showering love to us. Do subscribe if you haven't yet. And today we are going to have a wonderful conversation with Mansi, who is from Ahmedabad, and she is a user experience designer at Mindtree. We're going to talk ton shit of content regarding design, her college experience, how she learned design while being in a tier 2 city, and a lot more around it. Welcome, Mansi. I'm just going to get you off the board. Hey, Mansi, how are you doing?
Hi Abhay, so good to see you. Thank you for inviting me to your amazing podcast channel.
Thanks a lot for taking out time for coming in. I know we have had the hassles to kind of record this one.
Yeah, that's true. But I am kind of excited to, do all of these conversations.
Amazing. I think people will be looking forward to these conversations because I feel, as I said before, like you are one of the people I have contacted who never did an engineering job while they did an engineering and kind of directly jump into designing. So how that experience go, we'll talk about that. But let's just start with a introduction of yours for the people out there.
Perfect. So I basically completed my BE in computer science in 2018, and then I had, divine timing of joining a service-based company in Ahmedabad. So where I was working as a graphic designer, I worked there for a 1 year as a graphic designer, and then I was involved in different projects which was focused on digital products. So there I started my journey as a visual designer, and then slowly I transitioned my career from visual to UX, and then I'm currently working with Mindtree as a senior user experience designer. So yeah.
Sounds amazing. Let's just deep dive into your college experience because once you did your computer science, and I just really want to ask how that college experience went. And did you already had it in mind that you wanted to do design, or how that journey came across?
That's right. So in my college, I only knew one thing, that is, I do not want to code. That was a lethargic job for me, and I just wanted to escape that lab practicals and go out of that way. But then soon I realized ki I want to do something else, that is RJing, radio jockey. So I was kind of having in mind ki I'll do that, but then there was a little rush of choices that in your, especially after college, you have. So then I got placed in one of the MNC where they were not sure that if I want to go with design or if I want to go with business analyst matlab job role. So I chose design because I feel that there is something which I can learn and get skilled at later in my career. And then I spent 6 months of internship. Then I said ki, okay, this is love at first sight for me, design. Maybe after spending 2.5 years, I felt ki, okay, I can now commit to this field for the rest of my life. So this is how it started. So it is all, I feel that the divine timing, and there is a saying that you have to trust the process. So I think that is it for me.
Sounds amazing. So, as you said, you did RJ and everything. In your college, did you ever, because I'm assuming at that time, hackathons and some of those things definitely are part of colleges when you are. So, did you ever participate in some competitions related to design, any clubs or something like that?
No, I was only interested in making, things look beautiful, be it posters around the campus for the events that we are going to do, maybe Women's Day or Tech Fest or, things like that. So I was involved in those activities, but little I was knowing ki, acha, this is also a part where I can make a career out of it. So that was unknown territory for me. I just knew few of the basic tools, and then like Photoshop and Illustrator. I was knowing bit of it, but then it was never in my mind that I can make a career out of it. So yeah, that was, yeah.
And that's interesting because, uh, as you said, you kind of, when you went to the MNC, they kind of gave you the both choices. So, definitely you took a kind of leap of faith that you wanted to choose design and kind of
That's
figure it out. So, I really want to ask then how that learning phase of design at that time went. Did you ever took mentorship from someone, ask
Oh,
someone how that went?
yeah, so that was, I mean, very haphazard ride for me because when I first stepped into the industry, right after the college, I was unknown of anything about design. I just knew few of the tools, but what are the process and how they are people, managing the team, managing the projects, task, and everything. So I was assigned a few of the mentors in the same, department. But then I felt ki those mentorship was helpful only when I was having some understanding of the basics. So that is only a self-paved route that one has to go. So I was, already looking around. In the online courses like Udemy, edX, and everything. So I completed that. Then I asked a few of my colleagues there, like the whom I was, taking mentorship sessions, and then slowly and steadily, I feel that if I would have not, come out of that zone, then I would still be a graphic designer at some point. Like I did for a year. Then I look around, I got involved in a few of the POC making in the Labs and Innovation Center in the same company. And I think from there was a calling inside me, and there was the small confidence saying ki ha, this is I can do, this is interesting part. And a graphic designer, it's just, you just have to make things look pretty, and that's it. That is also an
Sounds
art, but yeah.
sounds amazing. But as you kind of grew and kind of learned about design, did you ever thought of kind of going to a design college to learn something, or were you always fixed on kind of job and kind of industry experience more?
I feel that so there are two types of learning. Okay, one is structured, and one is you go on the way and you make it a structure. So I think I chose the later one because time bhi nahi tha utna कि I go to a design school, I spend some time and come back because I was halfway there already. After spending almost 2.5 years in the same company, I was having that confidence कि okay, now I can learn. I just need someone, I need some projects and some work experience. I'll learn it my way. So that was, I think, the part of it.
And I think definitely paved your way because that's the position that you're in. A lot of people kind of desire to be, and I feel that's the way now a lot of people are taking in, uh, and that's really interesting because uh, like people in India trying to figure out how to learn different things because of the internet boom, it's becoming really easy, and definitely it's a great part to take on. Awesome. I think I just really want to get a little deep dive into your experiences as when you kind of joined that MNC, how that experience of working was like, and how your working experience kind of been so far.
Okay, so starting from my first company, it was like, some of the projects that we did was involving very basic junior level role, okay, as a user experience designer. So there were some tasks that need to be carried out. Maybe they will only assign me some export thing. I still remember that I have to export 236 resources in Photoshop, and that was lethargic amount of kind of I this was the task where I can automate things. I can just run Photoshop script. So I will try to do that. Otherwise, it will take a lot of time. So these were small tasks which made me ki acha, okay, this is this is not like you should be knowing the tool, only the tool, but also the process of creating something. So then I made some POCs in, as I said, in labs and innovation. And after that, I changed my second company where I was involved in the whole uh, product experience from scratch to the finally the testing phase. And finally, with Mindtree, I was involved in two of the projects, where one was purely research project, where we only kind of did usability testing. I mean, usability field study, more of it, before building a product. And then for 4 months, we completely did that. And after that, I was involved in a SaaS product. And yeah, so things like that. So I think service industry have a huge number of domains that you can work on, number of projects that you can learn from, but it also has like some of the cons as well. So yeah, it like a single coin has a double size of it.
But do you feel that being in service based industry kind of gives you a upper hand of kind of working on different domains. Uh,
It definitely is. Yes, I think because I was involved in service, I was able to work on so many products, till now in my 4 years of journey. But I feel product company, I feel I do not have experience of it. I may be wrong, but they are very research based company, and I think that is where it fascinates me now. I want to make your short research and then move ahead with what we are trying to build. So I think that is more important.
Makes sense because I will give you some answers because I feel when we talk about product based, it depends. If it's a startup, I feel because of the limited time, it gets really research is not the primary focus. Uh, delivery is the primary focus. To be honest, when it's a small stage startup, but
Okay.
if we talk about big companies, I feel when I talk to like a lot of people in the podcast itself, they do tell that research is the biggest part of their process and the features that at least small stage startup takes like a week or 2 weeks to kind of design research whatever they want to do and ship it. The product based companies take around six months for those features, which I was like, what? And it sounds fascinating is that I'm really interested and I think you might be that what kind of research they might be doing.
That's right. That's right. That is the part I'm fascinating, and because they have sure shot methods and sure shot ideology that what they are building, and what if that don't work? They also have a another plan or another insights based on that. So yeah, I think service industry is like, like in service industry, projects and research is like just the iceberg of it, but in product, it's the whole uh, depth that they carry. So I think that I need to learn.
And I think I agree. And even I think when I did a little bit of freelance before, and I was working with an agency, and I figured one thing. At least with agency, I'm not sure if it's same with the service based. I'm assuming it's same, but if it's but I figured that in service based, it's more about when they're pitching the services as well. It's more about pitch selling something.
Hmm.
So it's like they might say some things which we might not do exactly in design, but it's just I think it's more of a selling thing rather than realistically doing, while product based it's their own product, so not sure.
Yeah, but it varies. Actually, it is very subjective to the products or the problem that you are going to solve.
Yeah.
It's not true every time in the service industry. As I said, like in Mindtree, I was, fascinated with what kind of research, usability, field research we did in the first phase of the process. So that was like we did that project for 4 months, and that was like only research we did. Okay, and we just told the client that why are we solving this and how we are going to approach it. That took 4 months of it. So I think that is important. See, it depends on the product, the problem, and the client as well, because since business is coming, so they will require some of your efforts and some of the things that they need as a solution, right? Yeah.
What do you feel that with these small, like as I said, small startups and like early stages, uh, they focus on delivery. They just kind of focus on like you get a problem statement, you start designing whatever hypothesis you have, and then you just go it out. Do you feel that's a good process to go for, or would you prefer to have the normal process of kind of researching and other pieces as well?
Yeah, so it actually depends on your advocacy, like how much you are trying to put efforts, and how well are you educating the team about researching the basic research that you need to carry out. I am not saying that every time you have to do intensive research for some of the problems, because it is like, I'm not saying waste of time, but it is also kind of crazy that you have to deal with. But it's okay if you are doing basic research and educating your team, your client, your stakeholders, why we are doing it. and maybe then I think it would be easy for you to carry out the process.
Makes sense. So so let's just dive into a little other topic related to kind of jobs and other pieces. So recently, I kind of came across a lot of people in the community, people in the design head community, that uh, it's really difficult for them to kind of get a job recently. It's really difficult for them to kind of present their work better, kind of figure out what kind of problem statement they should kind of look for when they're making a case study to make their portfolio and other pieces. So, what would your advice be to those people out there?
So I have only one piece of advice for newbies, like who are making case studies. So like look around you and try to solve those problems, and not some definition from Google or somebody's definition from Behance. Maybe you can do that later of redesigning something. Like I saw like many projects redesigning the existing apps that are already doing amazing in market, like Swiggy, Zomato. They are just redesigning it. I mean, it makes less sense to me, but you have to choose the right problem. Problems which are around you. So maybe you can just take a, like, let's say, how washing machine is working, right? So it's automatic, but how you want to make it better user experience. So kind of those problems, things you see around, maybe the experience of voting system. I know there are a lot of things involved in the process, especially the Indian voting system, but so things like that you can choose around, like things around you, problems around you.
And makes sense. So even I answer the same thing, that
Yeah,
it's you should figure out the problems that you are facing in regular days,
that's
and
right.
they are done. Even so even that person said like, I am not able to figure out the problem. I said, sure, you are not. Your father will be. Your mother will be. Some or
That's
the other problem there will be there in the society,
that's right. That's right.
right? And it's really fascinating. So even recently, with the Swiggy thing, I'm gonna say, so if and I think when people want to do something on the current app that's available in the market, what I have figured is you can kind of make a case study around a feature that you feel should be added in the app.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel so. I just gave an example which I personally felt which would be useful for me. So I said, like, we as friends kind of do a lot of parties. So when my friends come home, uh, like we have to order from a single restaurant. So I
Yeah.
said, why not make a feature
Aha.
in apps like where we can make a group and we
True.
can order from different restaurants and it orders.
Right.
And as I said, there are different problems here which we can kind of figure out. Like to as a business, would we want a single driver to take all the orders and come at a single time?
Hmm.
Would we how what would should be the radius of those orders so that they should come at a similar time range? Like how can we solve these awesome problems, and
That's
what should be
right.
the limit of people? And I said that's really fascinating because I have felt that issue, right?
Hmm. Hmm. That's right. I think that would make complete sense to me. Even if you post it on LinkedIn, maybe someone will see from Swiggy and give you a thumbs up. So I think it's brilliant.
And yeah, and that's what I said. These are amazing features that you can think of. And again, as I said, this was a problem I was facing, that that we had to order from a single restaurant, or we everybody had to order separately. And if we ordered from a single restaurant, then I had to go to a Google Pay group or GoDaddy to kind of split the bill and other pieces.
Correct.
So
Correct.
trying to solve that flow really makes sense.
That's
Uh, Amazing. So let's just go a little forward towards that your experiences of the events that you have been doing so far. Uh, we together were in the Ahmedabad event and we recently did one in Rajkot. How was your experience so far? How was experience meeting people kind of offline?
Yeah, it is amazing. I mean, in Corona days, I was, curious to go to events like this, in person events. I attended few of the virtual events, but that is not the feel. We like nothing can replace the human touch, I feel. So in person, I enjoyed a lot. We had an amazing event where we were there together in Ahmedabad. It was amazing. Even I think you will also agree, the amount of energy and amount of intellect that people showed towards design. I think that was amazing. And then recently in Rajkot as well. So tier 2 cities in Gujarat, I feel Ahmedabad, Rajkot, Surat, these are the cities which we feel that we are not paying attention to it. There are good talent there. So Rajkot is the place where I studied. I completed my engineering, so I feel connected to the city. And yes, I feel that cities and the design culture should come out, and people should, should not be lacking any community build up in those cities, and that will empower designers. Maybe I know there are few designers in those cities, but I think it is helpful to empower them. You know, so yeah.
Makes sense. And even I had a fascinating thought about this. So when we went to Ahmedabad, so I have never been to Ahmedabad or Gujarat. So, and I have been to a lot of tier one cities like Delhi. I was born and brought up in Delhi. I then I shifted to Bangalore. I have been to Mumbai. But what I felt really nice about is that there were like so many people from Ahmedabad who were designers, and I was not expecting so many. And everybody had their amazing like really interesting problems, really interesting questions, and really interesting kind of topics to talk about, which really fascinated me as a designer. That there are amazing designers in cities like Ahmedabad, Rajkot, and other places,
Yeah.
uh, and it really I don't know, as a designer, when I'm trying to make these podcasts and trying to make this content, it really motivates me that I really want to reach out to these people and uh, and like the kind of do some big things about it. Even with me, a lot of people ask why I don't do these podcasts offline. Uh, while I definitely hope to do if I get a chance with some people, but I really wanted to be remote because you are sitting in your home right now in Ahmedabad, and I am here, and I can get your journey out, and that's what people really want to know, and it really fascinates, and I think really interesting to help like people out there to kind of get their journey out, inspire a ton of people.
That's right. That's right. So technology has made it accessible, I feel, to reach out to different people at different locations. So yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. And I'm glad that we did this meetup in Ahmedabad. That really set the tone for the rest of the events that we will plan in this year, especially in the name of Project Tire 2. So yeah, I'm really excited and looking forward to more events like this.
Sounds amazing. So let's go more deep into a little fun part of the podcast, which is a rapid fire round we do. Okay. So I will just give you some set of options or questions you can answer. If you want to explain, you can explain your choice. If you don't, it's up to you. Cool. Ready?
Perfect. Yeah, shoot.
Okay. Would you prefer designing for aesthetics or accessibility?
Uh, Aesthetics.
Why?
So accessibility, because that took a lot of time for me to reach there. Aesthetics, that is the first check for any of the product that we are trying to, a solution approach. Maybe aesthetics and then accessibility. So second
Sounds
priority.
Sounds good. Uh, would you experiment with new design tools or stick to the favorite ones?
Favorite ones.
And I think it's also with the learning curve nowadays.
That's right.
Uh,
All in all tools, let's say Sketch, Figma, or XD, all tools are same. There is just few things here and there, maybe the design and component making and everything, tokens and everything. But other than that, I feel that I have a comfort with some of the tools which I will stick to it to get my job done.
Definitely sounds good. Okay, so next one. Would you prefer AI to predict user behaviors or would you rely on established design principles?
AI, I think it is the future. I really think, and I am not saying just by looking towards it, but I have completed few of my lethargic amount of some design based research and some of the predictive analysis with AI. So I feel that no, it is going to work and help lot of designers do the some of the crucial groundwork and set the tone for the project.
And I agree. Even we at Growth School used kind of AI tools a lot to kind of help or kind of boost us to do projects. Even our visual designers and we like kind of use a lot of mood like Midjourney and Dali to kind of do the mood boarding and the
Correct,
pieces. And
correct.
similarly, Chat GPT for UX copies and research.
Oh my
So
god, that is the next big thing. And ChatGPT, trust me, when Google is their AI platform, oh my god, it's going to create a lot of buzz.
it definitely is amazing. So next question: would you prefer conducting user research or relying on intuition when designing?
No, user research.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Any?
won't, yeah, I won't rely on my intuition. Yes, some of the design decisions are important based on intuition, but user research is something which you will be confident about. And also, when you are making some of the important trade-offs with your business or stakeholders, I think your user research will help doing that. So yeah.
I think it really sounds fair because uh, your intuition might not be in the product that you're trying to build or the problem that you're trying to solve. And even if you have an intuition, I feel user research really helps to put a really kind of bookmark stamp on that yeah, you're doing right and everything. Really makes sense. Okay, the last one. So the last one is a question. Because you said like you have done like good projects with research work. What would you say is your favorite part of doing the research? Favorite part of doing the research?
Talking to users. It's my
Mm,
favorite part. So, in the research project, we involved 30 of the end users. Okay, and we have to conduct user interviews with them. So, oh my God, that gave me a lot of understanding of what they are, looking for. Maybe like after having a soft conversation in the first, and then maybe you are deep diving into what are their behaviors, you are observing them, and things like that. I think that is amazing, and I don't think that except designers, anyone can do that. I mean, you know not AI, of course. I'm not saying in the person perspective, but I feel that this is something that nothing can replace it.
and I
There
think
is
I agree, and that's what we call that human touch.
That's
Uh,
that's right.
And one more thing I think is fascinating. Even if people present this idea that robots later in the future will do some AI, some just user interviews or something like that, I don't agree. Is because
I
when you place the user in a very uncomfortable environment, they won't give you the results that you really want.
Correct.
So that human touch is the only way that you're gonna get that result that you want,
Right. That's right.
and really
I
makes sense.
completely agree. Yeah.
Awesome. So we are almost at some end questions of the podcast. So
Okay.
your journey has been such amazing. You have done your engineering. You kind of figured out how to do design, and figured as you go through the industry journey. Did some events. Has been a fantastic journey. What would you say is next for you?
To be very honest, I want to go to the product firm now. So like there is some timing. I have set some timing for myself, and maybe after that I'll I want to go to the product company now, and that is where I feel that I will have some other value addition to my career and my journey. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Makes sense, and I think uh, and I think again, as I said, that's the kind of that's a different kind of experience you're gonna have, and really makes sense for you. Awesome. And I think we are at the end of the podcast. I just have one last question that I ask everyone who comes on the podcast.
Okay.
So your journey has been amazing, but what would you say what one piece of advice would you take from your journey and present it to one of the budding designers who would be listening to this podcast?
Yeah. So whenever you have not been to a design school and self paving your journey, don't lose hope. Okay, there will be people, there will be times you will be having some rude comments, maybe from your seniors, maybe from your colleagues. just don't lose hope that you are not a good designer. So at times I had this breakdown that I was convincing myself that design is not the field for me. I want to step back and maybe join some other things. Maybe I leave design. So at that time, one of my seniors said, okay, let's just do one thing. You sit with one of the tasks for 2 hours, and if you feel that that task is burden for you, we'll think about something. And to complete that task, I took 3 hours, and I was researching and trying to solve with different approaches. And finally, I completed that task in 3 hours. So I think that was the thing which made me realize, no, design, I can do it. There is some calling in me, but I just don't have to stop believing in it. I will make some mistakes. So budding designers will make numerous mistakes, you know, but you don't have to lose hope. Never.
And I think nowadays with internet and everything, that mentorship and that part of kind of asking questions is really there.
That,
So whenever people get stuck, they should not hesitate to ask anyone out there
that's
whatever they want. And
that
that's the same thing you said, that a lot of people are going to say no. But even when you ask these helps and everything, people are going to say no. But that's the thing, you have to kind of go ahead, and someone will help you out as much as they can.
that's right. And don't let your imposter syndrome drown you.
Biggest one.
Just can't. I mean, there is a way that uh, like you will have your own breakdowns, but just don't let it overpower you. I
Yeah, makes sense. And even I think when I was kind of starting out, that imposter syndrome is a big hit that you take,
Right.
and it takes time to kind of either let go of, or either kind of just be like live with it, and if,
Yeah.
you just have to figure it out. And that's a really great advice, and I think people are going to really be benefited from it. And I think we're at the end. Thanks, Mansi, for kind of coming in and kind of sharing all your insights and kind of all the journey that you have been so far. And I will definitely kind of link your socials in the description for anybody who want to reach out to you.
Okay.
And I think your journey has been fascinating, and people can learn a lot from it. People can understand how things grow. And as you said, how service based and product based kind of differentiate. People can definitely ask you about all the experience that they have been to and kind of relate to that. So thanks a lot, Mansi, for coming in. Uh,
Thanks a lot, Abhay. And I just wanted to say that you are doing amazing job. Keep doing it, and Design Head is going to, rock.
Thanks a
And
lot.
yeah, keep doing it.
Thanks a lot, and it really means a lot to me that kind of people, everybody comes in, kind of supports, and that's what Design Night is for, to encourage people
Yeah,
to kind of relate to the journeys that people have been so far, and
that's
people
right.
have wonderful experiences in their life. Uh, that's really amazing. Thanks a lot for coming in. Thanks a lot for everyone who has been watching this till this end. Any parting words you would want to say?
Uh, just that uh, thank you for inviting me to Design Hat. It really means a lot, and I feel that if I can help any one or two designer who resembles and who have certain doubts, so maybe they can learn ki, acha, they have been there and they have done that. So maybe we can also do it. Maybe I will be able to have that small hope in them. So yeah, but thank you so much for inviting me. It was
Thanks a lot.
wonderful.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for coming. And I think it really means, because definitely people are gonna love your conversations and love the journey that you have been, and definitely they are gonna be help. It's gonna be helpful for them. So thanks a lot for coming. Thanks a lot for everyone who's been watching so far. See you guys in the next one.